Good evening and welcome. A newly published report on fake news, how it affects you, the people. A claim from the Congress that the PM continued filming with Discovery at Jim Corbett Park even after the attack in Pulwama. And the reality of what the government is saying and what is really happening with Kashmiri students across the country. You're watching the show that calls out fake news. It is election season. This is the channel for elections. And this is India versus fake news. On the show, to bake the fake, is Ankit Lal, who wrote a book on how social media is leading the charge and changing the country. He has handled also the social media campaigns for the Aam Aadmi Party. And Syed Nazakat, a digital journalist who has worked extensively on fake news. He is the editor of Data Leaks. Thanks so much, both of you, for joining us. Let's just get down deep in it, what we are talking about today. We're starting with what we have learned from the Congress. The Congress did a press conference where Randeep Surjewala started by basically making a very serious claim. So what is that claim? They are saying, the Congress is saying, that the Prime Minister was in Jim Corbett Park on the day of the Pulwama attack. And remember, this attack happened at 3:15 or so. They are saying that till 6 p.m. he continued to film. But is that really true? We'll come to that in just a bit. First, listen to what the claim is. What is it that the Congress is saying?
मैं ये पढ़कर बता रहा हूं जो मोदी जी की दिनचर्या रिपोर्ट हुई। उधर दिन भर कॉर्बेट पार्क का भ्रमण करने के बाद शाम 6:45 बजे प्रधानमंत्री का काफिला धनगढ़ी गेट से निकला। 3:10 पर हमला होता है। 6:45 तक प्रधानमंत्री फिल्म की शूटिंग करते हैं, नौका विहार करते हैं, अपना प्रचार प्रसार करते हैं। क्या दुनिया में ऐसा कोई प्रधानमंत्री है?
All right, so that is what they have said. Now let's listen to what is the counter claim that has come from the BJP. Ravi Shankar Prasad, what is he saying about why and if the Prime Minister was there till 6 p.m. continuing to shoot after the Pulwama attack?
प्रधानमंत्री के खिलाफ कितनी शर्मिंदगी भरे आरोप लगाए गए टाइगर कंजर्वेशन के संबंध में। उनके ऑफिशियल प्रोग्राम थे। तो अगर कांग्रेस पार्टी को मालूम था कि पुलवामा में हमला होने वाला है, हमें तो नहीं मालूम था। लेकिन पीएम, उस समय वेदर खराब था, पीएम ने वहीं से मीटिंग की और बाद में ड्रोव डाउन फार अवे टू कैच द फ्लाइट आफ्टर मेंटेनिंग अ फसाद ऑफ स्टैंडिंग विद द गवर्नमेंट एंड द आर्म फोर्सेस for the last 5 years. The true color of the Congress party has appeared today.
All right, so here's one aspect that, okay, the BJP says that he was there. He was at an official event. It was about tigers, and he was doing what he was supposed to do in the capacity of being a Prime Minister. But what is it that we don't know? Take a look at this picture. This is a picture released by the Congress. Yes, this has been released by the Congress, and what we know is that yes, he was there. But what we don't know is what time this picture was taken. Was it right after the Pulwama attack, during the Pulwama attack? And if at all, what really was the Prime Minister informed at that time about the Pulwama attack? That's not clear. So let's just get down to it with our guests out here, both Ankit. Ankit, I actually want to start with you because Syed Nazakat will be able to give us the details of how this is difficult to track. But Ankit, I want to understand from you, is it possible that the Prime Minister knew about the information in Pulwama and then continued to do what he was doing? We also have information that this was a by chance thing that happened. Discovery crew was there and all that. And latest information from my colleague Akhilesh is actually saying that he was stuck there because of bad weather, roads were bad condition, and Ravi Shankar Prasad has already made their claim. What are the optics of this?
We know for a fact that there is a Discovery show being shot in which Prime Minister's sojourn in the Himalayas is being covered. That we know as a fact. That the Discovery crew was there is also something that's been stated publicly by multiple people. That the Prime Minister was there is also a fact which the BJP also accepted. I'd be very, very surprised if they say that the Prime Minister was not informed about the Pulwama attacks even 3 hours after the attack. It will be very, very surprising, and it is very, very dangerous also if that happened actually.
All right, let's not spread fake news on a fake news show. We're trying to debunk it. We don't know right now, let's be very clear, we don't know whether the Prime Minister got information late, but there is one particular news channel that has actually claimed that the Prime Minister was unhappy about the fact whether it's a fact or not, we don't know, but about the information being received late. I'll just come to you, Syed, but Akhilesh is the reporter who's got us the entire information of what the Prime Minister was doing on the 14th of February, the day that attack happened. The question we're trying to understand, Akhilesh, if you can answer, is whether the Prime Minister actually knew, whether he actually knew about the attack and continued shooting, or did he get to know about the attack late?
Yeah, that's right, Mitoj. What the sources are telling us that on 14th February in the morning, Prime Minister Narendra Modi reached Dehradun at 7 o'clock in the morning. He had a pre-scheduled election rally in Rudrapur and also some engagement in the Jim Corbett Park. And what we've been told by our sources that the weather was very bad in Dehradun, so he could not take off from Dehradun, and he stayed at the airport for at least 4 hours. So it means that around 11 o'clock he was at Dehradun only. And after that he had left for Jim Corbett, and he reached Jim Corbett at around 11:45 in the morning. He stayed there for 3 hours. He inaugurated Tiger Safari, he inaugurated Ecotourism Zone and also a rescue center at the Jim Corbett. And after that, he took a motorboat ride, and from Kalagarh he went to Dikala. From Dikala he took a ride in the forest, and at around 3 o'clock he was supposed to reach Rudrapur for the public meeting. But as I mentioned earlier, that he could not reach because of the bad weather. So he addressed the public meeting through mobile phone for say around 4 or 5 minutes. And after that, he got the information about the attack in Pulwama, and then he immediately spoke to the National Security Advisor, also the Home Minister and the Governor of Jammu and Kashmir. The sources are also telling us that he was a bit annoyed that he was informed a bit late about this attack. And then
I want to stress on that. You're saying that he was informed late about the Pulwama attack.
Yeah, it was. He was not informed immediately about this attack, and that's why when he spoke to NSA and other senior ministers, at that time he had conveyed his displeasure. And after that, he asked NSA Ajit Doval that he should find out the reasons why the delay was there for informing him. And after that, he had gone to Ramnagar guest house. He was there for quite some time. Then he again called up NSA and the Home Minister and the Jammu Kashmir Governor. And sources are also telling us that he did not eat anything. Other persons who were accompanying him, they had their snacks and everything, but the Prime Minister did not even have tea. And then after that, he could not take off from helicopter. The helicopter could not take off from Ramnagar also. Then the other option was Pantnagar Airport, but there was no night landing facility at the Pantnagar Airport. So he had to drive from Ramnagar to Bareilly. And it took around 3 to 4 hours to reach into Bareilly. And he reached there by around 7 o'clock. Then in the evening, at around 7 o'clock, he took off for Delhi.
All right, that's the breaking news that we're getting for you, that our sources have told us that yes, the Prime Minister was informed late about the Pulwama attack. So there is that possibility of him not knowing when this particular photograph that the Congress claims was a shoot with Discovery was actually taken. So Syed, throw some light on this. What the Congress has basically done is try to reflect that our Prime Minister was basically having a ball, and that is not really the case. That we know, right?
I'm not really surprised by what Congress is saying or what the BJP is saying. I think the way we are heading towards elections, I expect and I can see more coming in the way of like people sharing and counter accusations, particularly with a lot of social media campaign going on the both sides. But I think the broader picture is in all this scenario, the news is actually the biggest casualty of the fake news. And what people will hear and how they will judge that information is quite critical. And as we are heading to elections, I think it's fundamentally important that people really have a real sense of things. They have some bit of factfulness when they go and they consume news.
Why don't you tell us what your sense is, since you are capable of reading through this kind of news?
Yeah, we were busy today. We're running a major fact-checking training in the country in which we have trained almost 6,000 journalists and editors in different newsrooms, along with leading fact checkers from the country, including Alt News and Boom Live. And this is a Google News Initiative program in which we are the partners here, along with the Internews.
What's your assessment as somebody who's done that? How will the people be able to view this? What will they do?
It's a rocket science, to be honest. It really is not a rocket science. I think by evening or in the next couple of hours will be exactly clear when this picture was taken, what was the location, who has taken it. I think all this will be clear in next 1 or 2 hours, as the fact checkers are already working on it. I'm pretty sure in next 2 hours you will have a clear picture about this particular picture.
All right, Ankit, was this fake news from the Congress?
Well, we don't know exactly right now. The picture in question hasn't been fact checked by anybody right now. The picture is still up for debate. As of now,
BJP hasn't denied it.
The Congress has released the picture. They have claimed something. The fact checkers as of now have not come out with the facts as of yet. If we know for a fact where this picture was taken, what was the time, what was the scenario in which this picture was taken, we'll know for sure.
Okay, all right. Okay, let's just move on to fake news 2. Fake news 1, we still will have to actually do more investigation, but we know one thing, the Congress may have made it look a certain way, but it certainly wasn't that way. That much we've got a clarity on. So that's a fact check for you right there. Fake news 2 that we're talking about, were Kashmiri students harassed? That's the big question we're asking. Now what we can tell you is that we've been trying to actually find out who is saying they're harassed and who is not. What is the claim, what's the counterclaim? But we're going to start with the claim that has been made by none other than the HRD minister, Prakash Javadekar. He says there is no threat to Kashmiri students as it is being made out to be. Countrymen are angry because of Pulwama attack, but no Kashmiri students have been assaulted. However, I want to clarify that what you are trying to say, this is about Kashmiri students being attacked, is not true. We are in touch with all institutes and no such incident has happened. Now let's just understand, this is about harassment of Kashmiri students. Attacked is one thing, harassment is another. Attack is physical attack, harassment could be of any sorts. Now let's just give you a fact check number 1. The fact check number 1 is about an MHA notification, and that notification I'll just bring up for you. That notification says very clearly, it's come from the Ministry of Home Affairs. It's basically saying that reference to the Pulwama incidents, there have been some reports of students and other residents belonging to J&K experiencing threats and intimidation. And we're asking you to take steps to ensure the safety and security. Now, this has gone to basically the Chief Secretaries and Director General of Police of all states and the Commissioner of Police of Delhi. This has come from the control room of the MHA. Now, that's huge. This is basically saying that, yes, we are also hearing reports of some kind of, threat to Kashmiri students. Fact check 2. Fact check 2 actually comes, which counters just what has been said by the HRD minister. The tweet from P. Chidambaram, former finance minister and senior Congress leader. He talks about an article which I'll bring up for you, but he says the statement of the HRD minister denying any harassment of Kashmiri students are all the newspaper reports fake news. Which newspaper report is he talking about? Let's show you that. The Indian Express report. What did it say today? Well, it detailed for us what and where has actually happened to Kashmiri students. At least 10 Kashmiri students booked across the country. It says 24 Kashmiri students suspended for anti-national posts. Punjab police has suspended 2 Kashmiri students. In Bhopal, 6 Kashmiri students have been expelled. Now, all of this could be because they posted or liked something on a social media page. But what we're gathering is that a lot of this has also happened because of pressure that has come from right-wing organizations, and that's exactly what this article also says. Now, the other information that we can have for you is from Uttarakhand that we've managed to get ourselves also, and Indian Express has also made that very clear. What is Uttarakhand? What has happened there? Well, 23 people have been arrested for demanding the expulsion of Kashmiris. That's right. They demanded the expulsion of Kashmiris, that Kashmiris should not be allowed into a particular educational institution, and so these 23 people had to be arrested because that is what the Education Institute asked the police to actually do. All right, so that we know. We'll just pick up a notification that we also got right now. We also try to get the telephonic interview that we are trying to get for, yes, we've got him. Okay, the ADG Ashok Kumar of Uttarakhand, thank you so much for speaking to us. आप बता सकते हैं कि उत्तराखंड में जो स्टूडेंट्स अरेस्ट हुए हैं क्यों हुए हैं, और जितनी भी आप डिटेल्स हमें बता सकते हैं सर इसके बारे में।
नहीं, बेसिकली ये लोग कॉलेज मैनेजमेंट से डिमांड कर रहे थे कि वो उनको कमिट करें कि आगे से वो कश्मीरी स्टूडेंट्स को एडमिशन नहीं देंगे, बिकॉज ये लोग एंटी नेशनल बातें पोस्ट करते हैं, राइट। ये उनका एलिगेशन था, तो उन्होंने कॉलेज मैनेजमेंट जब इसको आसानी से उनको नहीं एग्री कर रहा था तो उन्होंने थोड़ा वहाँ पे वेंडलाइज्म दिखाया, मतलब थोड़ी हल्की कुर्सी वुर्सी फर्नीचर वगैरह उनका तोड़ फोड़ किया, तो इसलिए हमने इनको अरेस्ट किया।
राइट, 23 स्टूडेंट्स सर?
22 और 23 आई थिंक
अरेस्ट हुए थे।
जी जी
जी, और ये कश्मीरी स्टूडेंट्स नहीं है बस?
ना, ये लोकल्स हैं, कश्मीरी स्टूडेंट्स को तो हमने जो कुछ एक लोगों को के अगेंस्ट केसेस रजिस्टर किए हैं जिन्होंने एंटी नेशनल बातें जो है सोशल मीडिया पे पोस्ट की हैं।
अच्छा, तो लेकिन ये जो 23 थे इनको आपने छोड़ दिया अभी, या अभी भी अरेस्टेड हैं ये?
अरेस्ट हुए थे, मुझे जमानत का स्टेटस मुझे नहीं पता है, अरेस्ट अरेस्ट हुआ 2 या 3 दिन हो गया है उस बात।
ठीक है sir. Ashok Kumar ji, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much. What he has confirmed for us, let's just make this very clear. He has confirmed that there were people, whether Kashmiri students have posted anti-national news or not, that's different. But what is definitely confirmed is that there were 23 students, locals rather, who were arrested because they went and they did some kind of violence in a college, and they demanded that Kashmiri students not be allowed out there, which is why the maximum number of students that are going back to Jammu and Kashmir are actually from Dehradun, as we showed yesterday on our show. And I also want to show you fact check number 6. This is a notification that has just come from Jammu and Kashmir. A district magistrate has given this notification basically saying that there is section 144 being imposed because of, guess what, in essence, fake news. We'll bring that up for you, and as we do, let's just go across to my guests out here. Ankit, I want to start with you. What do you make of all the fact checks that we have done? It does say that in some way or the other harassment of Kashmiris is happening, but Prakash Javadekar is saying that no, it's not happening.
What Mr. Javadekar has said is being debunked by the MHA notification itself. The ministry is denying, the MHA is denying what Mr. Javadekar has said upfront. There is no question about verifying facts in this case, because the MHA itself is saying that what Mr. Javadekar is saying is not true.
Okay, Syed, there's one thing that we need to clarify out here. What Mr. Javadekar says in his quote, let's bring that quote up. What he says in that quote is very specific. He says that there is no attack that has happened on Kashmiris. Now, we do know of instances where it has happened in West Bengal. We reported it yesterday also, but that was an isolated incident. The point was that no, there's not a lot of attacks that have happened.
Example of minister being informed about the situation right now. I think maybe he was not briefed properly by the MHA what was happening in the last 1 week. There have been not a one, not a two, not a dozen, I think really number of cases, documented cases where people have been harassed, brutally beaten.
Ill-informed, why is he saying that no incidents like this have taken place?
Because I think maybe, I don't know the context in which he has made that statement, but the MHA is very clear what has happened. And I also see that the all-party delegations, the senior politicians from Kashmir, Umar Abdullah included, met Home Minister Rajnath Singh and informed him, please protect students and all. There has also been appeals to the Prime Minister that he needs to come forward and reassure common citizens from Jammu and Kashmir that they will not be beaten or they will not be prosecuted in any part of the country. I think that is absolutely clean situation what we are having in the country, which is really terrifying. The level of violence was really terrifying because they were really innocent students in different colleges. They have nothing to do with what's happening back home. They are escaping from Valley because the situation there, that's why they're coming here. I think it's just the case he was not informed, or maybe he made really, I don't know the situation in which he made that statement, but it's really ill-informed statement, disinformed statement.
All right. And when that happens, when it's ill-informed, we'll just bring up that particular notification that I was talking about. I just want to read aspects of that. I've just sent it to our group on WhatsApp and we can bring it out from there. Basically, that clearly says that there are prohibitory orders under section 144, whereas it has been brought to my notice that some mischief mongers, anti-social and criminal elements have been spreading false rumors through social media. Yes, this one, with the intent to create disaffection, ill will, hatred and wedge between the different communities, and whereas these rumors have the potential to disturb the peace, tranquility and vitiate the public order, and whereas it has become expedient to put in place measures to curb the activities of these elements, which is what we are doing out here with the show on fake news, so that they are not able to achieve their nefarious design. Therefore, in order to ensure peace, tranquility, communal harmony in Jammu district, I, Ramesh Kumar, district magistrate, hereby issue prohibitory orders. Ankit, how is the government saying that there is nothing that's happening against Kashmiri students? They're themselves issuing these kind of, they're calling it rumors also, but they're saying, oh, we need to take precautions also. I'm not making sense.
MHA, one police officer from Uttarakhand whom we just talked to, and the DM in Jammu saying that what Mr. Javadekar has said is not correct.
Yeah, I think we're living in a tough situation, to be honest. The level of disinformation in this country is terrifying. It's really terrifying.
No, I don't think it's about this country, actually.
When ministers start dishing out fake news and make ill-informed or uninformed messages out there in public domain, the situation is really serious. And
but this is not unique, Ankit. You've been seeing this forever.
Yeah, but it's been going on forever.
Why is it different now?
With the elections coming over, It's just round the corner, and
Okay.
the situation is
Which basically indicates it's going to get worse. All right, we'll take a short
it only
break.
gets worse from here on.
And there's a very limited, if you look at around this, across the board, there are very limited efforts to control the situation. There are different levels, actually. So media literacy included, law and order influence included. So I think there's really a lot of space, and I think I'm really glad I see a lot of initiatives coming together, institutes coming together in terms of stopping the disinformation.
This is not the first time that such incidents have happened. Even with the Northeast students, earlier such incidents have happened in which, in wake of rumors, they had to rush back home.
All right, we need to take a short. Yeah, we need to take a short break. We have one more aspect to talk about how fake news is impacting the country. We'll be back. This is India versus Fake News. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to India versus Fake News. We have a new report that has come out, would you believe it, on fake news. And this report in essence is basically saying, we'll bring up the points for you, but that anyone below the age of 20 or anyone above the age of 50 is more susceptible to be swayed by fake news. And this report is by the Internet and Mobile Association of India. It's a survey that was covering more than 891 respondents. It had structured interviews with 30 interviewees, newspapers. They understood was still the top source of information for most. And experts have basically said, after looking at this report, that political parties are grooming an informal base that creates and spreads messages to suit campaign agenda. Ankit, you know this quite well. Could you tell us how this works?
Being in middle of this battle, of course I know, but this is something which is very damning for a nation as such. The way fake news is being used to propagate things that are of interest for a certain organization, it's damning.
What we need to know is why are people between the ages of, above the age of 50 more susceptible and under the age of 20 more susceptible?
Those in the early 20s or in the teens, they are much more susceptible because they don't have that level of information, they don't have that level of knowledge, and the above 50 ones, they're not that adept with technology, so that they are not able to Google and verify the news.
Political parties are basically using that. Final comment for you. Go ahead, Syed.
There's a huge new generation which is coming online for the first time in India, and they have no understanding, no literacy what is really the right information or wrong information. They are really not able to distinguish that, and that's why we really need to work hard to make sure we're dealing this challenge at a very serious level.
That's exactly what we're trying to do, and thank you so much for helping us do that. That's it from us. This was India versus Fake News from the entire team. Thanks so much for watching. On the other side, once again, the real news with Sonia Singh.